Welcome to Mavens, everyone. I'm Cheyenne Dominguez, your host, and this week we are talking about how to discover your AI style. And this is a fun two-part mini-series connecting your personality to AI. Before we get started, though, I always like to talk about some of the top news topics in AI. From the last week or so. And this week is a very sensitive topic. So I just want to give you a sensitive topic warning. We're going to be talking about suicide in the news here as it relates to AI. So if that is triggering for you, you definitely want to skip today's topic. But we will move on quickly from it and get into the core of our agenda today. But first, I want to make sure you all are aware that OpenAI has been in the news this past week or two around ChatGPT interactions being linked to teen suicide. So they have just announced that they'll be launching what they're calling parental safety tools. These are supposed to roll out next month, where parents will be able to monitor and manage their teen's ChatGPT account by setting restrictions and receiving alerts if the chatbot detects any signs of distress. So this is all again coming after tragic incidents where ChatGPT interactions were linked to teen suicides. And OpenAI says that this is part of their long-term safety plan, but many critics are arguing that this just doesn't go far enough in terms of the safety of minors. This is very heavy news, I know, and it's sad, and it highlights something that I think is growing in importance, and that is that AI is now touching, deeply personal areas of our lives, from how we parent to how we cope to how we work, how we understand ourselves. The technology is no longer just sitting out there. It's showing up right in the middle of our daily lives. So all of this got me thinking about where we're going with our topic today. I've thought if AI is intersecting with so many personal parts of our life, then our personalities or our natural way of thinking and approaching the world might shape how we connect with it as well. And so that's what brings me to this two-part mini-series, your personality match. And everyone learns differently, right? As an example, what excites one person might feel exhausting to another. And that's why I started exploring whether personality type could give us some clues about our own best starting points and best uses for AI. And I think it can. So this week is part one. I'll walk through how to discover your personality type and how I connected my own personality type to my own AI journey. And then next week is part two. We'll dig into personality clusters with specific pathways for how different types might lean into AI in different ways. So to get started, we need to take a quick look at Myers-Briggs. If you've never taken the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, or MBTI for short, I'm going to go through the very, very basic framework with you. But it's a system built on 4 preference pairs. So I'm going to give you, go through four different feelings or things that do or don't resonate with you, and you're going to determine which side or which option in each of the 4 feels like it's best matched to you. So the first one is probably the easiest: extrovert or introvert. Do you identify more as an extrovert or as an introvert? So if you recharge by being with people, that would be an extrovert. If you recharge by spending time alone, that would be an introvert. So in this case, if you're extrovert, you're going to write down the letter E. If you're introvert, you're going to write down the letter I. So the next one is choosing between sensing or intuition. So do you focus on details and facts? If so, write down S for sensing. If you lean toward intuition, which is patterns or big picture ideas, you're going to write down N for intuition. Now, I know intuition begins with an I, but we've already used the letter I. So in this case, we're going to use the letter N for intuition. So you chose extrovert or introvert, and you wrote E or I. And now you're choosing between sensing or intuition, S or N. Okay, we've got 2 more to go. The next one is to choose between thinking or feeling, T or F. So do you lean on logic and analysis usually? If so, that's T for thinking. Or do you lean into values or empathy? In that case, that would be F for feeling. And the last one is choosing between judging or perceiving. So if you prefer structure and plans, that is judging, J for judging. You're going to write down J. If you prefer flexibility and spontaneity, you're leaning into perceiving. You're going to write down P for perceiving. Okay, so you've got E or I to represent extrovert or introvert. Then you've chosen sensing or intuition. Then you've chosen between thinking or feeling. And then you've chosen between judging or perceiving. You're going to put all of these together and you have your 4-letter type. So, for example, my type is ENFJ. So I was extrovert, intuition, feeling, judging. And there are 16 total possible combinations. None is better than the other. They're just totally different ways of approaching life. There's no right or wrong. So I hope you had a little fun with it. My result, the ENFJ, is sometimes referred to as the protagonist or the community builder. And honestly, when I read the description of an ENFJ, it's basically like a mirror. They're described as energetic, but also empathetic and focused on helping others. They thrive on connection, getting people together, creating meaningful experiences, and that is totally me. I mean, in my professional life, I am a consultant and an advisor to membership clubs and membership communities and private clubs, and this is just what I love to do, especially getting people together around common themes, ideas, and values. So it sort of helped me see, I think, why I approached AI in the way that I have. So my instinct wasn't to use it in isolation, which a lot of people might try to do, like tinkering with different tools and trying different apps and different things. But for me, I saw it as a place and a topic where women could come together, learn together, share stories, feel safe trying new things and experimenting. And that's exactly how and why Mavens was born. So now let's look at personality patterns with AI. So the way you naturally like to work or play and connect, this can give us insight into how you might enjoy AI the most. So organizers might like to use AI to help with structure, like drafting schedules, reorganizing notes, or project planning. Creatives might feel more energized when AI is assisting them in journaling or telling stories or designing visuals. Analysts might enjoy using AI like a research partner or deep research partner, or summarizing articles or testing different ideas and email testing as an example. Connectors often thrive when AI helps them with communication, with brainstorming, with sharing experiences. So if you can see yourself in any of these patterns, it can start to give you ideas on what might be an easy entry point to AI rather than feeling like, lost in space, or that you need to try everything at once, or frazzled with how many new opportunities, apps, and tools there are seemingly every day. So I also took a deeper look at how being ENFJ shaped my own journey even further. So earlier this year, as an example, I hosted a community challenge called our 5 Minutes a Day AI Challenge. And that was to encourage women to try something new with AI each day. I think we did it for I don't know, almost a month. We did a 5 minute a day challenge, and they were just small, quick little things, but it was really all about doing it together as a community. It was a lot of fun. We did that earlier this year. And of course, I built Mavens as a newsletter and community first space where women can share ideas, personal experiences, and not to just be a place where, you go to download AI information. And then just in general, I personally like to frame AI in very human terms. When I think of AI, I think about confidence and creativity and leading, because those are the entry points that have felt very natural to me and probably to many of you. So I also appreciate structure. So I definitely gravitate toward using AI to help me with content calendars, with themes, with, for example, breaking down those challenges, that challenge that I talked with you earlier about, into step-by-step pieces. So that blend of connection and organization is definitely my sweet spot. But when I think about others, so for example, if I were INTJ, I might approach AI with a strategy first lens, maybe use it to model different scenarios or analyze risks or long-term plans. Someone who's an ISFP might prefer playful creative uses like designing mood boards or experimenting more with AI art. So the point is, your personality doesn't just shape who you are in relationships and at work, but maybe it can also influence how AI feels most useful to you. So now it's your turn. You've got to think about the 4 pairs that we talked through. Figure out which side, which choice feels most like you. Write down your 4 letters. If you've already done your Myers-Briggs exercise, like formally, maybe in a workplace, I hope you'll pull it out and dust it off. If not, this is just a quick high-level self-check to get you a sense of where you would land. So, and if some of them, if you're not sure which to choose, try thinking about how you naturally tackle a challenge at home or at work. Do you build a plan first? Do you usually jump in and just try it out? Do you usually ask for advice from a friend? So those same instincts can also indicate maybe how you'll most enjoy working with AI. So get your 4 letters together. That's your assignment for the week, is to get that done. I hope you'll share it in the comments, or you can reply to the Maven's email. You can drop it into our group chat. That would be a lot of fun. And then coming next week we're going to talk about personality pathways. That's part 2. We'll look at different clusters and explore the specific pathways. So you'll see, we'll talk more about how those organizers, visionaries, creatives, analysts, connectors that we just touched on a little bit earlier, how they might lean really much more into AI in ways that feel energizing and super, super useful. So, okay, if you're not subscribed to the Maven's weekly newsletter that lands in your inbox every week, I hope you do that now. This week, I also dropped in some little things that I'm loving, including this absolutely delicious Bee's Knees Prohibition era cocktail that I love so much. I drop in one that I found that's been it's been like summer in a glass at the end of summer. It's gin, lemon, and honey, and it's absolutely delicious. And I share a little bit about it with you in the newsletter. So that's it for now. Until next week, remember, the best way to learn AI is to just start where it feels comfortable for you. Okay, and then also a little note, Myers-Briggs is a registered trademark of the Myers-Briggs Company. So everything I have shared here with you, this is all my own perspective. It's meant for inspiration. This is definitely not an official assessment. Okay, so hopefully this inspires you to learn a little bit more about your personality and how it could be a good match for AI. Okay, see you next week. Bye, girls.